Hi guys, I miss you. Coming to you here from Tamarindo, Costa Rica, where it is hot, sunny, and windy. So I took a 7-day break now from teaching and also from practicing. So I am so ready to get back to it. And we're doing kind of a test run to test out the noise, the microphone, the camera, and the upload speed for our classes. So in light of that, we're gonna actually start today with just a nice 30-minute get back to it class. So not as long as our normal classes, but it's gonna be nice just to get our bodies moving and just a little bit of a shorter warm up and cool down, and we'll do some holds and some flow. So let's go ahead and start in a seated position today. Bring your hands onto your knees. You can have the palms facing down, the palms resting up. You can take Gyan Mudra, connecting thumb to forefinger, whatever feels comfortable for you. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears, lengthen through the back of the neck, reach up through the crown of the head, and go ahead and take some nice deep breaths. So inhaling through the nose, fill all the way up. Let's let it go through the mouth. And one more like that. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Let it go through the mouth. Let's find our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose, closing the lips, finding a slight constriction to the back of the throat, making the breath audible. We'll take about 5 breaths here. You can keep the eyes open or you can go ahead and close them. You can keep the eyes closed if you're comfortable. If your hands are not already resting on your knees, go ahead and rest them on the knees. And then inhale, lengthen up again, nice long spine. On the exhale, bring right ear to right shoulder, chin toward chest. We're gonna do some neck rolls in both directions. So you can do half neck rolls or full neck rolls going all the way around. Just keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. And one more in this direction. When the chin finds the chest, just pause. And then on the inhale, reverse directions. Keep those shoulders from riding up. Keep the spine nice and long. There's some sort of bug by my ear. And we'll come back to center. Nice neutral spine. On the next inhale, reach those arms up overhead, lengthen through the fingertips, and exhale, come off to the right, bring that hand and the elbow up onto the mat, and then reach across the ear with that left hand. Roll the shoulder in line with the hip. You can look down at the hand or you can look up, whatever's comfortable for your neck. And then inhale back to center. Exhale to the opposite side. Hand and elbow come down toward the floor. Right arm reaches up and across, shoulder in line with the hip, active through the fingertips. Take a nice deep breath into your right ribs. And then inhale back through center. Exhale, we'll take left hand to right knee, right hand out behind. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, deepen into the twist, looking out over the shoulder. Inhale back to center, reach up. And then exhale to the opposite side, right hand to left knee, left hand out behind. Keep those shoulders right over the hips. And we'll twist from the base of the spine all the way through the crown of the head as we look out over the shoulder. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Press the fists down toward the mat as we reach, lengthen through the chest. And then as we exhale, we'll come into a forward fold. releasing the forehead toward the floor, hands up and over the back of the head. It's okay if you can't come all the way down, just get a nice stretch in your shoulders and your hips. And then inhale, come all the way back up to center. Release the hands and make your way toward a tabletop position. Find the shoulders right over the wrists, the hips right over the knees, and we'll take a couple cat-cows here. So spreading the fingers nice and wide. Inhale, release the belly toward the floor, lift through the crown of the head and the tailbone, and as we exhale, we'll draw the tailbone down toward the mat. Lift and separate the shoulder blades, bring the gaze toward navel center, and then 2 more. Inhale, coming into cow pose. Exhale, rounding into cat pose. Work with your breath. And then last one, inhale, cow pose. And then exhale, find cat pose. And then we'll return to a neutral tabletop position. And from here, we'll move into another twist. Thread the needle, keep the left hand on the floor, bring that right arm up, and then we'll slide the right arm behind the left, coming onto right ear and right shoulder, reaching through the fingertips, keeping the hips nice and high, and then inhale, unwind from the twist. Exhale, release back to tabletop position, and we'll switch sides. Left arm reaches up, gaze follows the fingertips, and then slide that left arm behind the right. Come onto left shoulder and left ear, lengthen, reaching through the fingertips, hips are high. Inhale, unwind, and then exhale, release back to tabletop position. From here, tuck the toes under, lift the hips high up and back, finding downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, find some movement, pedaling through the feet, maybe swaying the hips side to side, keeping the neck nice and loose as the crown of the head releases toward the floor. Press actively into the finger pads and press those heels toward the floor, even if they don't reach, just going in that direction. And then tighten up through the quads, the fronts of the legs, lifting those kneecaps up, getting really firm through the legs and the arms, rolling those shoulders in. And take one more breath, downward facing dog. And from here, look toward the hands and walk the feet to the front of the mat. Bring the feet to hip distance apart. Find a nice generous bend in the knees, and then reach opposite hand for opposite elbow for ragdoll. And again, that head is nice and heavy, neck is loose. You can find some movement here. You want to sway side to side, maybe bending and straightening the legs. Just a nice, gentle fold. Find whatever is comfortable in the body and feels good. And then we'll make our way back towards center, releasing the hands down onto the mat. On the inhale, come up to a halfway lift, find monkey pose, lengthen through the crown of the head, pull those shoulders away from the ears, nice flat back. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. Maybe we straighten the legs a little bit more this time, working toward a bigger hamstring stretch. And then one more time. Inhale, monkey pose. Exhale, forward fold. Heel toe the feet together. Big toes come to touch, little space between the heels. And then on the next inhale, come up to a halfway lift. Pause here, extend the arms off to the side, little spine strengthener here. Hold here. Exhale out all your air, and then inhale, rise up to tall mountain, reaching the arms up overhead, and exhale, cactus the arms, lifting through the chest, pulling the elbows down toward the floor, lift the gaze, inhale, tall mountain, reach all the way up, and exhale, bring hands to heart center. Take an inhale here. Exhale, release mountain pose, arms by the side, palms face out. Nice and strong through the legs, lifted through the chest. Draw that tailbone down toward the floor. Take one more breath here. Exhale, release your air. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back, plank pose. Pause here in plank, find our plank alignment, shoulders over wrists, feet in line with hips. Draw that tailbone down, and then find a nice flat back, looking slightly past the hands. Inhale here. Exhale, slowly lower down onto our bellies. Elbows stay in, grazing the ribs, all the way down. Forehead releases to the floor, tops of the feet flat to the floor. Inhale, 3 rolling cobras. Come up to baby cobra first. Very little weight in the hands. Use the strength in your back. Exhale, release. Move your hands back about an inch by your ribs. Inhale, medium lift cobra. Come up a little bit higher. Maybe the belly button comes off the mat. And exhale, release. Forehead taps the floor. And then walk those hands back one more inch each. And then all the way up. Full cobra pose. Working towards straight arms, lifting through the crown of the head, but keeping the hips on the floor, a little different than an upward facing dog. And then slowly release all the way down. Bring your hands back under your shoulders, tuck those toes under. Inhale, rise up to plank pose, or you can go through tabletop, and exhale, downward facing dog. So we'll start to go breath to movement here. So look forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, step or float to the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tall mountain, rise up, reach up. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift through your chest, separate your collarbones. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step back, lower down from plank through chaturanga or all the way down onto your mat. Your inhale will be cobra pose or upward facing dog, depending on which you choose. And then exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg high, open that hip, bend the leg, let the foot hang heavy toward the floor. Draw that right shoulder back in line with the left shoulder. And then inhale, square off the hips, straighten out the leg. Exhale, knee to nose, round, maybe make contact, knee to nose. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, and then we'll step through to low lunge. Release that back knee down toward the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. You can have your back toe tucked under or flat to the floor, your preference. And then we'll find arrow mudra, so interlace the fingers, release the index fingers. And inhale, lift through the chest, and then a little back bend here as we start to take the gaze up. And whoop, lose the balance. Exhale, release hands to the floor. Take that right hand onto the right knee. Find a little twist here as we look up or back past our shoulder. And then release back to center. Find a strong low lunge. Lift that back knee off the floor. Drive that chest forward. And on the next inhale, we'll come all the way up, crescent lunge. We'll hold here for 5 breaths. So find 90 degrees in that front leg. Fingertips are nice and active. Working towards straight arms. Shoulders right over the hips. And then once again, draw that tailbone down and forward. And then straighten through that back leg as much as we can. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Inhale, and on our exhale, cactus the arms, dip the knee down toward the floor, maybe lift the gaze. Come all the way back up, crescent lunge, release, low lunge, step back plank, vinyasa if you'd like. Come halfway or all the way down. Flip the feet, come up to cobra or upward facing dog, and then back to downward facing dog. Inhale, take that left leg high, open that hip, bend the leg, let the foot hang toward the floor, and then draw that left shoulder back in line with the right shoulder. Lift higher through the knee, straighten out the leg, square off the hips, round knee to nose. See if you can make contact, look past your hands, and then inhale, lift up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge. Release that back knee toward the floor for crescent moon. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Find arrow mudra. Interlace the fingers, release the index finger, and then lift up and a little back bend here. Maybe lifting the gaze toward the sky. All the way back down. Release the hands. Take left hand to left knee and start to twist from the base of the spine through the crown of the head. Maybe the gaze comes up. Maybe it comes back over the shoulder. Release left hand to the mat and find a strong low lunge. Get steady through the feet, drive that chest forward, and then rise up. Crescent lunge. 5 breaths. Sink nice and low. Get really strong through the legs. Lift up through the sternum and lower the shoulders away from the ears. Last 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, cactus the arms. Dip the knee down toward the floor. Maybe lift the gaze. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, release hands to the mat, low lunge. Step back, inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise up. Exhale, warrior 2. Find heel to arch alignment. Get nice and low in that front leg. Draw the tailbone down, lift through the chest, lower through the shoulders, reach through the fingertips. Soft gaze out across the front fingertips. Hold here for another 2 breaths. Last breath. Flip that front palm so it faces up. And then come into reverse warrior. So back hand slides down that back leg. Right arm reaches up and back. Breathe into your right ribs. And release, low lunge. Vinyasa, step back plank. Lower chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Right to the other side, adding on. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Step through, low lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior 2 on the other side. Find a nice long stance. Find that heel to arch alignment so the heel intersects the back arch. Press into the outer edge of that back foot, lifting through the arch. Strong legs, nice active arms. Those shoulders nice and relaxed. And right over the hips. Last breath. Flip that front palm so it faces up. And then reverse warrior. Right hand slides down that back leg. Left arm up and over. Left bicep by the left ear. Not a lot of weight in this back hand. And then come all the way down. Low lunge. Step back, plank. Lower chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. One more breath. Right leg lifts, inhale. Low lunge, exhale. Crescent lunge, inhale. Warrior 2, exhale. Reverse warrior, inhale. Extended side angle, exhale. Right elbow to right knee, or right hand to the floor. Left arm straight up overhead, or left arm reaches forward toward the front of the mat. You can also take a half bind, taking left hand to left hip, or a full bind, reaching fingertips towards each other, rolling that left shoulder up, open, and maybe the gaze comes up. Last breath. If you're bound, unbind. And then inhale, rise up to 5-pointed star. So both toes face out at an angle. Tailbone draws down, arms reach up, palms face out. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to heart. Sink into your knees, prayer squat. Draw the tailbone down and the knees open. One more breath. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right to the other side, back to our flow. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Rise up, crescent, inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior, up and back. Exhale, extended side angle. Left elbow to left knee, fingertips to floor. Right arm up, right arm forward. Bind, half bind or full bind. If we're bound, we roll that shoulder open, maybe take the gaze up. Last breath. Extend both arms, and then inhale, 5-pointed star. Rise up, reach up, and just exhale down to prayer squat, and then inhale right back to 5-pointed star on this side. Exhale, heels behind toes with a flat back. Come all the way down, Prasarita. We're gonna take a twist. So bring that left hand underneath the face, reach that right arm up toward the sky, level the hips and release. Switch it out, left arm reaches up, level the twist, or level the hips. So we're using the core to twist. Release, inhale, 5-pointed star, rise up. Exhale, warrior 2, back to our flow. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Last breath. Look toward the mat, front of the mat. Step or float forward. Forward fold. Then inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, hips low, arms high. Spiral the pinky fingers in. Take the weight back to the heels, wiggle the toes. Everyone's favorite pose to hold. Feel the heat building in the legs. Keep that chest lifted so we're using spinal strength. 2 more breaths. Last inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey. And then exhale, step or float back through chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. 1 more breath. Once again, look forward, step or float through to a seat. And we're gonna come right into boat pose, Navasana. So lift through the chest. We can have hands on the floor for support. You can bring the legs to 90 or straight. You can extend the arms. Just keep that chest lifted. and find stretch pose. Extend the feet forward, shoulders and feet come to hover. Come back to boat pose. And 2 more times, feet and shoulders to hover. Last time, boat pose. And stretch pose. Come back to boat. Go ahead and cross over those ankles. Hands plant to the floor. Step or float back through chaturanga. Up dog, hold up dog for an extra breath, stretching through the core. And then back to downward facing dog. 1 more breath. Let's go through our flow 1 more time, and then we'll start to slow it down. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step through. Inhale, rise up crescent. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, prayer squat. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2. And take a balance pose. Inhale, reverse triangle. Straighten through that front leg. And then exhale, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Drag that left foot forward and off the mat. Stack the shoulders and hips. Peek back. Maybe you can see your toes. That's the alignment you're going to want. Hold here. You can play with hand on the leg or gaze off the floor up toward the fingertips. Really adds a lot of challenge there. And release is low lunge. Step back plank pose. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Look forward. Step or float feet to the outside of the hands. We'll take an arm balance now. Come down into Malasana first. Draw the tailbone down. Elbows to knees, hands to heart. Lower the shoulders, lift the chest. Maybe a little press of those knees further open. Getting really, really deep into the hips here. And release, hands to the mat. And take Bakasana, crow pose. Bring those feet in so that they touch. Elbows come high on the backs of the arms. Ooh, I'm sweaty and slippery. I don't even know if I can do this. And lift those feet off the floor for 3, 2, 1. Step or float back. That was very slippery. Up dog and down dog. 1 breath. Left leg lifts. We'll flow on the other side. Last time through. Step through. Low lunge. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side. Take the entire length of the breath to make the movement. 5-pointed star, inhale. Exhale, prayer squat. 5-pointed inhale. Warrior 2, exhale. Reverse triangle, inhale. Ardha Chandrasana, exhale. Left hand comes toward the floor. Right leg lifts. Peek back so that you can see your toes. This way you'll know that your foot's not too far back. 2 arms parallel with one another. We can always up level with our balance by lifting that left hand off the floor, possibly lifting the gaze, maybe to the wall, maybe to the fingertips. Take 1 more inhale here. Exhale, low lunge, step lightly back. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Right leg lifts, inhale. Half pigeon, exhale. Bring that right shin forward. Maybe working it toward parallel with the front of the mat, depending on the flexibility of your hip. If not, and it's a little challenging on the knee, just pull that foot further in. Find a nice tall spine A little bit of spinal strength here to lift those shoulders right over the hips. Maybe we reach the fingertips back toward the foot. Maybe lift the gaze. These are all just options. And then come into sleeping pigeon. Hands to the earth, forehead to the hands. Hold here for 3 breaths. Find a tall spine again, plant those hands on the floor, left toes tuck under, right leg lifts high up and back, 3-legged dog, release, down dog, right to the other side, left leg lifts, half pigeon, left knee toward left wrist, left toes toward right wrist. Side may be a little bit different than the other side, so make any adjustments to find a comfortable place for the knee. And then working some spine strength here. Start to lift those shoulders right over the hips. Maybe lift the hands off the floor and reach them back toward the back foot. Squeeze those shoulder blades together if the hands are lifted. Maybe lift the gaze. And then release. Hands to the floor and forehead to the hands. 3 breaths. Back up onto the hands, tuck those back toes under, left leg high up and back, give it a nice stretch. You can also shake it or open the hip, and release that foot to the floor. Go ahead and come down onto the knees, cross over the ankles, extend the legs out in front, ground down through the sitting bones, find nice active legs. We'll take Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead, exhale, reach the hands either to the mat, quads, shins, feet. Find a nice tall, long spine. Shoulders away from the ears. And start to hinge over, bringing the torso toward the quads. And for this last breath, feel free to take the rounded option and just release forehead toward the knees. Get a little stretch in the upper back and the neck. And release. Let's take one seated twist before we close our practice. Bring that right foot up and over the left knee. You can keep that left leg extended, or if it's more comfortable and you can keep the sitting bones grounded, you can bend the left leg. Either option is perfectly fine. Take that right hand behind the right hip, lift that left arm up, and hook the elbow to the outside of the knee. Keep the shoulders stacked right over the hips. Try not to lean too far forward or back. Maybe take that gaze out over the shoulder. And release, and switch it out. Right leg extends, left leg comes up and over the right knee. Option to bend that right leg. Keep the sitting bones grounded. Left hand behind left hip, right arm up. Hook that elbow to the outside of the left knee. Keep the shoulders stacked right over the hips. And then maybe take that gaze out over the left shoulder. Unwind. And take both feet flat to the floor. Legs are bent, arms extend, lower down onto the back. Place the palms of the hands flat to the floor, pull those heels in. Inhale, bridge pose. This won't be a long hold. Just press into the heels, lift the hips higher. Slowly release. And lift the feet off the floor. Bring the thighs as close to parallel to the floor as we can. Knees and feet are spread wide. Happy baby pose. Option to hold on to the thighs, the calves, the ankles, the feet, the toes. Working toward a long, flat spine. So pressing that tailbone down toward the floor. And then option to massage the spine by going back and forth. If we're looking for an inner thigh stretch here, option to extend one leg or both legs, find a little straddle, and then release, pulling the knees in toward the chest. Find a nice tight squeeze, maybe reaching opposite hand toward opposite elbow. Once again, pressing that tailbone down toward the floor. And wherever we are, extend those legs straight up toward the ceiling. Arms come down by the side. Slowly with control. Last little core strengthening for our class. Lower, lower, lower those feet to the floor. Once we're down to hover, just separate the feet, coming right into Shavasana. And let those feet fall open. Feet are a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Palms face up. Shoulders come in, tuck under. Fingers are nice and loose, toes are nice and loose. Close the eyes and start to let go of the controlled, steady breathing and just come into a natural, soft rhythm. Relax through the jaw. And just take your awareness to your third eye center, so the point right between and above your eyebrows on your forehead. And just soften that space where we oftentimes hold tension. Since you're at home doing your own practice, I invite you to stay in Shavasana as long as you can. And this is a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but if you have more time to spend, this is our little practice class. Take that flow again, take some extra stretches, and for sure we'll just get right back into it and start working up to our 60-minute classes. Lots of variety and things to look forward to. Hope you all are doing well. Sending lots of love your way. Bring the hands to the heart, sit upright, or stay in your Shavasana. Today as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.